Or are we oh, wow. Oh, okay.
All right.
Here we are. Here we are. My name is Ian Alley Seals, and I am the host of A Dangerous Podcast. And this is a difficult day, because we have a difficult task ahead of us. We watched a very special movie this week.
It's a very special episode. It's a very special edition of A Dangerous Podcast.
Much like a
very special lady.
Does anyone remember very special episodes?
Oh yeah.
Jules,
Different strokes, right?
What
Like,
would you define? What's your classic very special episode?
Different strokes. With the child molester.
Yeah, I'd like to not think
Or they had to
about
like
that
talk
one.
to, like the kids at the
I
end
just
of it.
remember
It's not ringing a bell for me.
I just remember the Family Ties one. That's the one that always sticks out. With like Skippy died or whatever it was. I don't remember what the hell was.
It wasn't Skippy. That was the point. The episode was My Name is Alex. It was Alex P. Keaton's one-man show about the traumatic death of his best friend that we'd never seen on the show before. And it is the epitome of very special. That was the one I was going to say, Jules. Jason,
Okay.
Is there a very special episode that comes to your mind?
This is the equivalent of that.
Oh, I don't know.
This is our very special episode, John.
What is more special than the Different Strokes one with the guy from WKRP in Cincinnati? He was like trying to lure Arnold and his friend. He's like, "Yeah, let's wrestle in my underwear." And I'll give you a cake. Remember that? And then like at the end, he comes out of character and he's like, "I just want to talk to you guys." It was a two-part series.
I'm horrified right now.
Yeah. This is the shit we grew up with.
Yep.
And I have to say, as intense as that was, this episode will be that. We're talking about Dead Weekend.
Might as well go big.
Had anybody seen this before? I'm just
What?
curious.
Nobody
I
has
kind
seen
of
it,
assumed,
right?
Jules, you had seen it since you
Oh, no.
recommended it. But
Oh,
This came up in
this is
reference
just the
to the other movie that
right.
we did. Amanda and the Alien.
Jason recommended Amanda and the Alien, and then I dug deep into the records and found that this production company had done one other movie, and it was this movie. And it was also about lots of sex with a shape-shifting alien, and I thought that was peculiar and needed to be investigated.
With uber Christian Stephen Baldwin.
Was he Christian at that point?
Oh yeah, I think so. I gotta say, he makes different kind of movies than Kirk Cameron. That was my impression of this. But anyways, before you go on, Ian, and I know you have a thing, I just want to reiterate, kind of like give some backstory on this. Jason picked his movie, which was Amanda and the Alien, and it was so bad that I told this story before that when I went to my doctor's appointment, I almost was put on Zoloft because of it.
I just hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me
No,
for my misdeeds as a friend.
Forgive you. Who I don't forgive is the guy who, after watching that movie, researched it, found out the same people made one other movie, and then made me watch that. That's who I don't forgive, Jason. Jason, you're forgiven.
I'm going to throw this out there, everybody. As horrible as Amanda and the Alien was, it was like Dr. Zhivago or Citizen Kane compared to its sister film, Dead Weekend. It was like, I didn't know how good I had it. Oh, yes. I didn't know how good I
had Alien with you guys, so I can't speak for the comparison.
Amanda and the Alien is real bad. It was up till this point the worst movie that we had shown.
Yeah, I didn't want to jump ahead, but this is the worst movie we've seen by a lot.
Yeah, I think that this one has finally topped it.
I don't try to dance around terms like worst movie ever. Like people throw that term around willy-nilly. Oh, this is the worst. Oh, this movie's so terrible. And all of us here, we've all seen Mystery Science Theater 3000. Most of us, we all grew up on it. So whenever anyone says that, I often want to say no, because we know what that really looks like.
But I want to warn
We know.
you all. I want to warn you all that I kept the actual worst movie ever made in my pocket. I did not pick that this time. And I'm saving that. I'm saving that for when we can do it in person, because there will be no other way to make it. If we're all sitting at home by ourselves watching it, we're going to need all of the Zoloft. I mean, So anyway.
I personally feel this is the first
Stop.
truly Mystery Science Theater 3000. Yeah? Oh, we got a comment?
Prunzian.
That's Cheryl.
Yes,
Hey, Cheryl. And we don't really know what we're doing. We just fell into this.
She'd like to know if we watch bad movies. Yes, Cheryl, we do.
Yeah.
That's our thing.
We watch bad movies.
And I'd like to remind everybody of that while everybody gives me a hard time for picking a bad movie. I understand that our lives could be a lot easier if we just keep doing failed blockbusters, okay? We keep doing Super Mario and Superman 4. We're going to be a lot less hurt by that. Well, maybe not even, but I mean, the rest of us will probably be a little more entertained.
Wait, Jules, what are you saying?
I'm saying
what was that comment?
that this is a movie the world wanted to forget and did until tonight. Until tonight.
On YouTube.
The world never knew about this movie in the first place.
No one knew about this movie. Jason,
literally like one.
So
Jason knew about Amanda and the Alien. Jason knew about that from his childhood. No one knew about this until Jules did the deep dive on the
about Amanda and the Alien. When I was doing my Lou Diamond Phillips research today, I found out Amanda and the Alien was actually the top original movie of 1995 for Showtime.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It was the top. Yes, original movie.
Wow.
Okay. And people paid for that. That's amazing. Yeah. People are like, this is what I wanted from Showtime. Okay.
I mean, we're
it's what they had.
Expectations high of what you were gonna find on Showtime. I mean,
anyways,
wasn't there a certain type of film that you were looking for on Showtime?
Jules, so Jules, I watched this movie this wasn't one that I watched at the end. I watched this movie right away. I think I might have watched it.
Yeah,
after our last episode.
Yeah.
And I hated you so much that I was just gonna spend like the week just trying to find not like just a bad movie I could make you watch, but one that'll hurt you, and you have to sit through it. And I found it. I found the perfect movie. It's going to be worse than anything you can ever come up with, but you especially, it's going to hurt you specifically.
Oh man, this is a twisted development here. Wow.
If you don't hate me after this, I won't forgive myself.
Why is the point of this podcast? John wants to hurt us. Why is
That's right. Yeah. No. What John doesn't know is I have a drawer full of Wellbutrin, so I'm going to be fine.
Good, because you're going to need them all. Man overdoses on Wellbutrin.
Are we just like advocating drugs on this podcast? Just want to make that clear. We're not.
It helps.
It wasn't planned. Things just sort of went in that direction.
So everybody, for people who are just tuning in for the first time here, A Dangerous Podcast gets its name not from the actual danger we present, though that does exist, but from the first film that we reviewed, which was a beloved film from Jules and from the childhood of both Jules and I, which was A Dangerous Touch. We keep adding the A. The A makes it more classy. The film was. It's not A Dangerous Touch. It's just.
Every time I feel like you change it, and I'm confused. I feel like every time you're changing it back and forth to no A. Okay.
Dangerous the podcast Touch. Is a Dangerous Podcast.
Okay.
Put an A in there because we're classic.
Now,
Your Diamond Phillips couldn't afford that A in the poster.
Dangerous Touch, for those of you who haven't been following our epic 5 episode podcast series.
Well, that's
so
just
far.
it. People should.
Uh,
People should be following it. That's why I picked this movie. It's a developing plot. It goes on. It's like Serial. It's going to get all the people.
But Dangerous
So-
Touch was an erotic thriller that was written, directed, produced, started. I'm sure he was in the editing room by Lou Diamond Phillips. And Lou Diamond Phillips is the patron saint of A Dangerous Podcast. And every
LTP.
week we come together and we pay our respects to American treasure Lou Diamond Phillips by talking about his life.
Did you
and
hear
I
about
know-
the logo
I
I
know
wanted
all
to have
of you.
created?
What's that? Say that
Did
again.
you hear
John?
about the logo I wanted to have created?
Tell
for
the world.
show? The logo idea I had.
Tell the world.
It was Lou Diamond, like a golden Lou Diamond Phillips, like lead singer in the band, and we're the band.
Yes.
Who's good at Photoshop?
Then I sobered up, and I was
Oh,
like, no, that's stupid.
Or who's good at Photoshop? Or who is good at giving Lou Diamond
You.
Phillips $500 to take the picture with us?
Lou Diamond Phillips costs more than
$500.
I'm telling you.
$500, man.
All right.
Everybody
We're just stalling now. We're just stalling. So, Jason, what did you learn about Lou Diamond Phillips this week?
Oh, I learned that in 2017 he was arrested in
That was-
Texas for drunk driving. But publicly
Mine. That was mine. That
Oh,
was what I was
Stop
going to.
looking at Wikipedia, guys. You're supposed to be giving news nobody else wants to know. Or nobody knows.
Okay, I'll jump in.
I missed that one entirely, but I didn't hear about that on the news.
See, I got some good stuff on him. You're not going to like find, I mean, I've got some actual stuff.
Yeah,
Do it.
yeah. John is definitely going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, because I do my homework.
John, bring
You
it.
want me to go?
Yeah.
Lou Diamond Phillips once went out on a date with Julia Roberts, who left him midway through the date.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, we're
He
saying,
was not having a good time.
are you telling me, John Carrier, here on this podcast, that the world
Right here, right now.
almost had the power couple, Julia
Almost.
Roberts, Lou Diamond Phillips?
That the Power 90s couple could have happened. Could have been the Brangelina. It would have been the Jewel Dime Roberts or
Dimebert?
I wonder what went wrong. What could have possibly gone wrong?
Let's
I
let's
call
call
you
up Julia Roberts and
Yeah,
find
why
out.
not?
whoever's
We've never
fault
on
it
the
is,
podcast.
he was too intense.
Yeah.
She couldn't take all that manliness. All 85 pounds of manliness. No, actually, no. You know, I think the story was wrong. I don't think she left. I think he like actually blew away, like when they were walking outside. And
God, for everyone just tuning in, this is the part where John Carrier savagely body shames Lou Diamond Phillips.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
So
Lulia, yeah,
I'll go.
that's it. Lulia.
Ah, there we go. I'm going to jump in right here. I got to say, John, I'm very impressed.
Thank you.
And I'm sad and I'm very impressed. So, all right, who in this podcast is a fan of The X-Files?
Oh, me. I love X-Files.
So we're familiar with Agent John Dogger.
Mhm.
Yes.
Almost was Lou Diamond Phillips.
Ooh.
Yep. We have a theme going here of what could have been.
Wow.
You know,
What could have been?
the world would be a different place if Julia Roberts hadn't blown it that night.
Yep,
You
he
know.
would have been.
Or if he didn't blow away.
He would have been in X Files, and yeah.
You know why he didn't get that role, Jules? Ian, you know why he didn't get that role? I just looked it up right now. You know why he didn't get that role?
Why?
Because the costume designer didn't have the costume in extra
Oh.
small.
No, stop
Now,
it.
Jason, who plays that role? Is it the T-1000?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the Liquid Terminator.
Yeah, they didn't need to worry about costumes with him. He makes his own clothes.
Oh, that's convenient.
He's made of
Right.
Save him a couple bucks.
he's made of liquid metal.
I just realized that Robert Patrick and Lance Hendrickson are in the same part of my brain because I thought for a minute, confused them. Lance Hendrickson played the king at the end of Super Mario Brothers last week.
Oh my God, that's right. Oh my God.
Which just popped into my head. And I didn't mention last night, but you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, this is a serial show. You have to watch all the movies. You have to come along and watch all the
Like
so you have to go back in the library.
For people, again, that are new, watching for the first time, you'll note that this is the longest we've gone without actually talking about the movie at hand, and I'm fine with that. Because, you know, I'm just trying to push it as far. I want to actually talk for a second about something. I've been thinking a lot about what you said, Jules, in last episode. About how every decision, every bad, crazy thing, everything about Super Mario Brothers 2 came from the failed decision to actually make the movie.
Yes.
And if you do that, there's this trend among adapted films of that era, especially things that were like adapting cartoon shows or video games or toys. There was just this blatant and fully understood rule that you could not make the thing. Like, if you're going to be making the Legend of Zelda movie, you can't make Legend of Zelda. Or if you're going to make Super Mario Brothers or He-Man or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, actually, Turtles comes the closest. But that obviously you can't make this thing. That's ridiculous. So you always had to filter it. You had to you had to apologize for it and give all right, well, obviously we can't have a giant turtle with spikes on its back, so we'll give you Dennis Hopper in a suit. John, you made a comment last week that Super Mario Brothers 2 was like watching a play. And I didn't understand it until days afterwards when I realized that's exactly what it is. Like, if in the early 90s, you went to a high school and told them, put on Super Mario Brothers play. That's what people have done. They're like, we have a giant Koopa, so we'll just
not a high school either. I'm talking about like a dumb elementary where the kids they're not that
middle school at
not
least.
that talented.
Middle school at least. It's like when you go to a middle school or high school version of a Disney musical where they can't have a lion there. So they're all awkward and, you know, they have to fake it. They can't actually do it. And that's what all of these movies were. Like, you know, well, we can't have Mario just jumping from things. We'll give him rocket boots. We can't have little fireballs. He's going to have a flamethrower. And that's that's what I've been thinking about nonstop, you know, when I've been avoiding the world this last week. So I didn't mean to be diving deeper into Super Mario Brothers, the movie, but I just felt those things needed to be said.
That transitions well into my fun fact. So I'm going to talk about one of Lou Diamond Phillips' achievements, not just what could have been. He made his Broadway debut with Rodgers and Hammerstein's King and I in 1996.
Nominated for a Tony Award. Yes. He's a man of limitless ability, and should be praised as we have.
As the episodes go on, Ian starts loving him more, and I start hating him more.
How, John? How?
How do I hate him more? I don't know. Maybe I'm not hating him more.
Did you not see Renegade? No?
Yeah.
No? Am I going to make you watch Renegade? No, I'm not going to. You want to know why? Because Renegade's too good for this podcast.
I don't know.
I realize we've gone this far without introducing ourselves. I'm Ian Alley Seals. Who else wants to jump in? Who do we have here on this podcast today? In this war room?
I'm Jules. I was going to say your last name, but...
Seriously,
Ray Banana here.
I'm Jason.
I'm John.
I'm Jules. No, that's all you need.
You know, these crazy kids.
I talked to her.
Can I say the movie I'm going to pick out for Jules? I'm killing me. Dying.
Well, no, we have to make everybody wait. We have to make everybody wait. That's how.
So good. It's so good. He's gonna fucking hate me. It's so good, goddammit.
Where is this utter sadism coming? I don't know about this, but like, and no,
Where is it?
Right.
It comes out when you watch movies like Dead Weekend.
All right, who's
I
gonna start
gotta
off
say,
that
John,
weekend?
You asked the question like, you know, you wanted to find a movie I would hate, a movie that I would be angry at all of you for making me watch. And there are those movies, but I don't think you know what they are. And eventually I'll let you know, but like you gotta work for that. You
I
gotta
have a much bigger list than most people.
yeah. Now
But you know, I think Jules is pretty, you know, even keeled. He's pretty low. He is gonna hate this movie so much. And I was watching the trailer, and I replayed it like 3 times, just imagining the hardest thing is I'm not going to be there with Jules when we watch it. I might get like an OSHA like suit and like, go over his house and
We can watch out in the yard for you as well. We're doing it,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
so why don't we take a minute right now and really and let's bond as a group and give the FBI, who's been watching this, trying to track us all down, and get all of our real identities, those of us who haven't divulged them, give them some more data. So Jason, how was your week?
My week was good up to the point I watched this movie.
and that's something we can all we all have in common right now. We're the only 5 human beings on the planet that watched this movie that in this time. Probably since it came out. So Jules, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, maybe I was doing so well this week that for some reason this movie did not strike me as that far off from what I'll call the Showtime trilogy that we've seen. We've seen 3 movies from Showtime. There's A Dangerous Touch, Amanda and the Alien, and this. I'm not seeing this one being the outlier.
Really?
Other than
he just
being
doesn't see it.
Weirder.
He just doesn't see it.
Ray, how was your week? How you doing?
A little tired. You know, running around. Did make time for Dead Weekends. Sucked the life right out of me.
Would you say, Ray?
I mean, I don't get to power up on sexual energy like our lead protagonist.
Yeah, I say the reason, Ray, that
non-existent sex life. Cheers.
Ray, the reason that you are so low energy is that you live on a planet where that gets power from destruction, or at least think. Everyone, that'll make sense to you in just a minute. And Mr. John Carrier, founder of the podcast, how was you? How are you doing? How was your week?
Before we get to that, Cheryl said we need to watch Duel, a very early Spielberg, no dialogue or music for like the first half.
Duel's good though. Yeah.
Duel is a good movie.
That's too good for this podcast.
Probably boring, but
No,
I mean, it's not bad.
Duel is exciting. It's Trucker Duel.
Take your word for it.
So John, how was your week?
Good. The high point of my week was finding this movie that I'm going to torture Jules with. I can't hold it in anymore. I got to say it. All right. And I don't know when, because I want him to think about this. I think I have a couple weeks until my turn comes up. But the movie that I picked, my next choice, when it comes around, and we're all going to have to watch, including Jules, is going to be. I'll start by this. It has a rating of 0.0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Junk.
Wow.
Hold on, I'm
looking
this up. I'm looking this up right now. 1 second.
So it's in a very elite.
I'm not
club.
looking up the movie. I'm looking up a different fact right now.
All right, we'll just sit here and wait.
The movie that we're gonna review today I don't
Yeah.
know what this means. Has no critical consensus. That just means.
So the backstory on this was the creator, the writer, the director, went on social media and was like, hey, all the haters are going to hate my movie. They're starting to hate it. So why don't all my fans go to Rotten Tomatoes and give it a fresh? So he was promoting it. He's like, and it backfired on him. And it ended up in the very elite club of a movie that was 0.00. Rated number 2 as the worst movie ever reviewed on
What's
Rotten
number
Tomatoes.
No.
one?
Oh, no, John, no.
What's number one?
Number 1 is a movie that didn't even come out yet. It was Stolen Mile.
Oh,
Just a little inside joke here.
wow, too soon, buddy.
So, John, I'm choosing this week, and you've got next week. So, everybody on the internet, make your bets. Throw out your predictions for what John has coming
Yeah.
to specifically.
Somebody's going to pick it, I know. Somebody will figure
Yeah,
it
but
out.
you can't say. We can't
All
don't
right,
give it away.
I won't say it, but if anybody knows Jules and knowing that it's a 0.0, they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, that's
Here's the rule. Here's the rule. It's binding on both a federal and state level, which is that if you predict the movie, and that's the movie, then you're right. You have to watch it. You can't wait for us to review it and recap it. You have to actually watch it yourself. I now don't know why anyone would be involved in this game. But
I'm going to enjoy this so much just knowing Jules has to watch it. I mean, I already love it. It's already the best movie that we've seen. Because I watched the trailer like 3 times. Like, oh my god.
All right, Kang. All right.
All right, we're gonna get to the movie.
Enough preamble.
Okay.
We have to dive into this, and
Jump in.
no time like the present. So, Dead Week. Jules, can you give us some backstory? You're the expert on what's this production company called?
The production company. No, it was a separate. It was called like Retro Productions or something like that. They were like an associated. Yes,
Okay.
it was associated with IRS or whatever, but it was not. Yes, so it was a LLC formed for the purposes of making 2 shape-shifting alien sex movies.
But did they make
And
those
so
movies and then decide to call it quits, or did they make those movies and then just fail out of business?
we don't know. I thought about actually inviting the director on here, but I didn't realize you could actually get a hold of him, and you can't. So, but because he was on IMDb talking about like what a weird situation the entire thing was, because apparently his roommate wrote this movie as some sort of joke, and then it got bought, and then
that's the magic. That's the magic of the 90s, man. Stay up all night, do some cocaine,
Yep.
write the screenplay, and
Cocaine.
2 weeks later, it's on Showtime.
Showtime somehow got this script and went, "We make this happen. Make this happen." And this is what we get. I'm gonna
can go between this company and Showtime. That's what I don't understand. We have 2 science fiction shape-shifting. Although, wait, how long after Amanda and the Alien was it? So was it? You were saying it was Amanda and the Alien was successful. So if that's the case, then Showtime's like, yeah, bring on this alien shape-shifting stuff.
I think they're both 95.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
See, these guys know of this. John Amenta from a real podcast wrote a joke film starring Stephen Baldwin. Yeah, Albert, Ed Weekend, softcore 11, hardcore fun. Right. This is softcore. Yeah.
So,
I can't believe Stephen Baldwin didn't write this.
no, he's not.
I can't believe Lou Diamond Phillips didn't write this.
I will not have that in this room. You see, as terrible as Dangerous Touch is,
You're falling in love, Ian.
it is no, I am not. I'm not one of those people who does that.
You're not in love.
I do not.
Lost, L-U-S-T.
Yeah, best line.
Replaying.
No, I am not in love with Dangerous Touch. There are those people that fall in love with bad movies and forget they're bad. I am not one of those people. And I am saying, like, if you compare Dangerous Touch to Dead Weekend, that is false equivalency. That is false equivalency.
Yeah,
I just want to say,
I
and
don't know.
I just want to
Hey, two people.
I just want to say, and I didn't have the time to do it, but I have you last week saying both you hate Mario Brothers the movie and you love
I never
Mario
said I
Brothers
love
the
the
movie.
movie. I said I like it. I said I
You like it, maybe. Okay, maybe.
Yeah. So, but you're not going to hear that from me this week, Sean. You're not going to hear this from me.
I don't know. The night's young.
All right. Everybody wants to know about this movie, and we're going to start this thing. We're going to start it. So we begin in, shall we say, the not too distant future, and in the not too distant future, the world is apparently run by a wrestling federation. No, I don't mean that. It's run by the. Am I getting this right? The TWF.
TWS.
I thought it was True.
Oh no, True World Force. Yeah, it was True World
True
Force.
World Force.
TWF.
And we learned this because the head of the True World Force. Anyone remember this General somebody?
Hayden.
General Hayden. Thank you, General
Yeah.
Hayden. A stocky, bald man who just looks like a wrestler, is sitting in front of a cage, like just a chain link, backlit by floodlights.
And he had sunglasses on at one point, even though it was like dark in the front.
And he's
How was
having
it so dark in that room when there
Well,
were
I'm gonna get to that.
floodlights? Like it was so weird.
because what we are supposed to understand
let's
is
go
that this is
The very thin plot that stretched way too far over this film.
yeah. Okay. They've got a situation. It is a similar situation
But one
to
big
Amanda and the Alien.
difference,
Uh-huh.
though, right? In Amanda and the Alien, it was like on the news publicly that there's an alien on the loose. In this one, it's government conspiracy cover up. These people
Trying to
don't
get-
want anyone to
In the case
know.
but in the case of both, everybody is completely blasé
Yeah, nobody.
about aliens. They're just like,
Both movies.
nobody
Yeah.
cares.
Both movies.
Yeah.
So, like, the military cares, but everybody else is like, aliens again, who cares? I mean, it's the same strange decision.
the
as
same
the
universe,
Alien.
did they already live through Amanda and the Alien?
Oh my god!
Yeah. Oh my God! Yes, obviously.
Wow.
Yes, the Amanda and the Alien cinematic universe is what this is.
So General Hayden is in his situation room. Now, understand that General Hayden chose the decorations for this room. He chose that where he's going to do business is like in a warehouse with a chain link fence behind his desk and floodlights with just him and his kind of befuddled assistant. And they have a conversation. This conversation is, so there's an alien loose in our city. Yeah, we don't think it's dangerous at all. Yeah, but we should take care of it. But there are all of these gangs that are roving around, killing everybody. How are we going to deal with it? Oh, I know what we'll do. We'll evacuate the city. We'll just lie. And what is the lie that's going to evacuate the city?
An
Everybody.
earthquake is coming.
There's no
The
earthquake.
seismologist.
Whoa, one at a time. Ray, what's
There's
the
a
lie?
there's a
Yeah.
pending earthquake.
He says, and it comes to him like as a vision. We'll say an earthquake. We'll say the big one's coming this Saturday. Yeah. It's a fantastic plan. I think he literally says it's a fantastic plan. And then his assistant says, yeah, but you're never going to get the gangs out of here. Oh, that's even better. We'll just shoot them. We'll just see loot and we'll just shoot them. We'll get the alien and we'll kill the gangs. It's a win-win. And he's very quietly pleased with this plan. This was the first thought I had during all of this. Why did they need the alien pretext for this? Like,
Especially
Because
given that-
that's the only thing they know how to do. It's like maybe that's what sells the movie. It's like there's an alien in They're like, you're greenlit.
I think the idea, I think it's just like the perfect male fantasy. It's, you know, maybe a dangerous woman that can become any woman you've ever
Ray-
fantasized about. I mean,
Ray,
Ray,
you're right. We're not even there yet, and that's not
No,
what I'm talking about.
We've got to wait. Ray's got to save that for her segment. Is this sexist?
Yeah.
That comes later, Ray.
Like,
oh my gosh, John, we're gonna just skip that part and just say, hell yes.
We don't know. We don't know until you
Bring
tell
back
us.
women.
We're all looking forward to it.
Now-
to finding out.
Well, I don't know. Yeah.
but
Can't
I
wait.
guess my point is the alien was never a problem. In fact, the assistant says low key, like the alien's not a problem. This was all just the General Hayden's real issue is the gangs. He really wants to get rid of these gangs. They're a scourge. They kill his officers all the time.
Yeah,
So
it's
like his big plan,
Why didn't he just say that there was going to be an earthquake and shoot all the gangs?
anytime.
Why at any point he could have done this. I don't yeah.
So there we go. That's where we kick it off. And then we go to just really modern day LA. Was it even LA? Where was this?
I just want to jump in real quick. Stephen Baldwin has a lot of sex in this movie. Go ahead. People need to know that while you're walking through the movie, there's a very good chance Stephen Baldwin is having sex during that.
In all of the erotic thrillers and erotic sci-fi comedies and everything that we've watched, like there's always been this one common thread of this wasn't a Cinemax movie because there was not enough nudity. Like this, if that's what they were going for, there wasn't enough. We didn't know how well we had it, everybody. We didn't know the gift that they gave us with those other movies. We watched this movie, and it's like, oh, goodness, do I need to see Stephen Baldwin's ass again? Apparently I do. Apparently I do. So, all right, so here we go. And so now we're following the adventures of the True World Force as they are trying to clean up the city, find an alien, and you meet our two male protagonists. Well, Stephen Baldwin. I want to get to his name in a minute, but Stephen Baldwin and his partner, superior officer. What was the deal? Partners, right? Yeah.
They skip saying partner. Yeah.
That guy who's yelling at him throughout the movie?
Yeah.
But only about
That
having
guy-
too much sex, apparently, the whole
That guy
time.
is
That was it. That was
so
it. It was just
mad.
like, you're off the force. Too much. You're having too much sex with too many women.
Yeah,
there's
how much Kevin Phillips not
Where
right
did your badge and gun?
So much to unpack there. But and John, this is the only thing I'm going to say here. This is the only thing I'm going to say that I liked about the movie, and I didn't even like it, is that I'm watching this and I'm watching the scene and I'm like, wait, who is that guy and why do I like him so much immediately? And then I realize, oh, it's David Rash, TV's Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer. Yeah.
Sledgehammer. And so for about half the movie, I'm going, I remember
Who remembers?
Sledgehammer. I loved
I remember the guy from Sledgehammer.
Jules and I. Apparently.
Yeah, we both know the guy from Sledgehammer.
By the way,
Who will literally, you will just, literally way more, way
I'll
more
tell you,
entertaining.
at some point, Jules and I are both going to be like, yeah, that was the guy from Parker Lewis Can't Lose, stuff like that. But like, so there's about at least 1/3 of the movie where the main thing I'm enjoying is just watching Sledgehammer. I'm just like, oh, this is that guy. I'm enjoying this scene. That fades really.
I'm only familiar with Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. So, True World Force is going around. They're evacuating people. They're shooting people, and that's when you meet David Rash's Payne and Stephen Baldwin, the most bland and unlikable character I've nearly ever seen in the film. Who here, by the way, would like to do their general impression of Stephen Baldwin in this movie? I'll do it. But
Before
would
anyone does that, Albert made a comment perfectly describing this guy. Partner, best friend, dedicated libido monitor. I mean, he is like angry.
Yes.
The best.
So mad.
He is so mad. You're not in love. WSD.
Hold on. Save it. I want to get that scene.
Really
I need a
good
friend like that.
advice. Yeah, it's a good friend. It's like, dude, just it's lust. It's infatuation. It's not love.
So
Could you imagine doing that to one of your friends after like they hooked up with some chick? Dude, where's the matter?
guys, anyone gonna do an impression of Stephen
I
Baldwin?
had a
I'm
dollar
doing
for
it.
every
I'm doing
time
it.
I've done that.
Everybody, this is my impression of Stephen Baldwin's character in this movie. I'm gonna take my glasses off.
Take your pants off.
Yeah, that's him. Throughout the whole damn movie, that's who he is. From the second you see him, from that panning shot, from that
Oh right, yeah, that weird pan
black
shot, yeah.
background where they're panning over, and Jules and everybody, I want to remember this shot because I'm going to talk about it later. This shot where they pan from one officer in like their lineup, and it goes there, and then there's somebody short, and they dip down and they look at their head, and then they pick up, and then you see Sledgehammer, and then you see Stephen Baldwin, and I can't avoid saying his name anymore for the longest time because there are a lot of people in this
Born
film
Again
with
Christian.
accents,
And
specifically
you forgot.
the alien. I thought his name was Wade. I thought Stephen Baldwin's character was Wade because there's like this French chick going, Wade, come back and have sex with me. And I'm like, oh no, it's Wade. No, and then you see his name tag, it's Weed. His name is Weed.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought exactly the same thing. Everybody can't speak English, so they're pronouncing weed as weed. But no, not only is his name
Sergeant
Weed, but he's in the phone book. It's just Weed.
Weed Abernathy. No, I don't remember what his last name was. If he
No,
had-
there was no last name in the phone
Weed?
book. It just says Weed, and then it's phone. Yeah.
So Weed and Sledgehammer are going through Sector 6. And there's a barn. And Weed goes in the barn. And he sees a super hot Asian chick. Now the APB that's gone out for this alien is look out for this alien. She's 5'9", long black hair, Asian appearance. That's what we've got. And he sees her, and she's scantily clad in a silver lame bikini.
But no, she is not Asian. She's like a beautiful African woman, black woman.
No.
She is.
She switches.
Isn't that who she is when she?
Ray, is Ian being sexist right now?
No. It's the Asian woman first, and then she goes into the barn and
She
then
will be-
turns into the other woman.
Yeah, but our protagonists are. He doesn't see this. Stephen Baldwin does
No,
not
I
see
think
that, right?
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
that's fine.
So that's
So
important to know.
sees her and kind of just looks at her like this for 45 seconds. Not like he's enticed. There's not like, oh my God,
Listen,
just this blank, I've no
Ian,
idea what to do with the information of a woman.
Ian.
Yeah?
Ian.
Yeah?
He's Stephen
Yeah?
fucking Baldwin.
Are you trying to make
You know his last
You know
name?
what? And like, what's miraculous about
This
that
guy
scene too is he just
Shared a bedroom with Alec Baldwin, okay? Regular men need to do more
Who's
than
like-
just stare.
he instantly has champagne and pizza at hand.
I was reading
Yeah, like
I was reading
when there's an earthquake.
No,
then
he
they
went back
everyone
to-
hide
I literally
inside.
had
Where's the
everything.
pizza?
In my house.
wanted to
No,
talk
no. He went back to True World Force's headquarters, which is a strip club, and got the pizza and champagne, and then brought it back.
It's not even a strip club. It's not even a strip club. It's like all right, first of all, we know what it is. It was a hastily constructed set made out of sheet metal and and not much else. It's just heavily lit sheet metal where you have some women who are in no way strippers. With the amount of nudity in this movie, why did the strippers never take their clothes
Right.
off? That makes
You know what's
no
weird is
sense. It
you know
makes
what's weird is Super Mario
it
Super
would've-
Mario Brothers had real life strippers,
Okay,
but this Cinemax movie
taking
didn't.
off all their clothes and they couldn't have served drinks at the military bombed out shelter.
So yeah, so you go to first of all, there's one thing I just want to know. I was reading a review of John Carpenter's Vampires, which maybe we'll watch at some point. Who's like the fourth tier Baldwin? It goes like Alec, Steven, Billy. Who's the one after Billy?
Was it the
Tito.
guy on Homicide? I don't remember.
Daniel
his
Baldwin?
name.
Daniel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I forget which Baldwin that is, but they're relating a story of just how kind of horrible it was to be him. That like they would be at a bar and like drunk chicks would come up to him and say like, "Hey, are you Alec Baldwin?" And he'd go, "Yeah, I'm Alec Baldwin." Second place is steak knives. Third place is you're fired. Sex before we sober up. Like that was that guy's life. I was thinking about that when I think of Stephen Baldwin as well. Like, and as Stephen Baldwin, I mean, he's a very bad guy. He's a not good guy if you follow his his life.
I mean, Stephen Baldwin is like a handsomer Baldwin.
He's not more
He
handsome
was
than
good
Alec.
in Usual Suspects. He was very good in that
He was good in Usual Suspects.
Just a
But
bad
like, I kind of feel like
person.
yeah, but I
Good
kind of
actor.
feel like
Bad
that
person.
wasn't him. That you could have put any number of people into that role, and they could have just done it competently. Like everybody else in Usual Suspects is like, Benicio del Toro is amazing, and Kevin Spacey, and persona non grata Kevin Spacey, and Gabriel Byrne. Everybody's fantastic, and Stephen Baldwin absolutely does his job. But I think you could have given that to any number of people, and they would have
Lou
done
Diamond
that well.
Phillips.
No, Lou Diamond Phillips was too good for that role. He wouldn't have worked.
You are
He wouldn't-
falling
he-
in love.
I,
Could it be I'm falling in
I'm not in
love?
love with a dangerous touch, but I am in love
So-
with Lou Diamond Phillips.
Albert
So-
brought up a good point.
Yeah.
The guy's name is Weed, and not a single pun about smoking.
No.
Yeah, there was.
weed.
Yeah, there was because because remember when he was on the run at the end, someone said we're looking for weed, and someone else said, "Isn't everybody?"
Ah,
Wow. I see,
Jason,
Jason, you gave them
I'm paying attention.
so
way too much credit. But that was I thought they literally were saying isn't everybody looking for this guy. I gave them no credit for
Yeah, that went
even the most.
right over my head because Stephen.
if there's
Baldwin
ever a
said it.
smart thing said during our podcast, it comes from Jason. You just gotta wait for it.
All right. So we're there at the canteen, and and that's when we get the first of many lectures that Sledgehammer gives his partner Weed on lovemaking and commitment. Now,
Mhm.
I'm going to set this here. Payne, Sergeant Payne, Corporal Payne, I don't know what he is, Sledgehammer, is incensed at his partner's prowess with women. And like, it's not like this whole kind of like, oh man, you dog, you're getting with so, he's so angry about
He's
it.
very
Like-
angry. We cannot overestimate that point enough. He is very,
No,
very
how
angry
many-
at him having
How
Happening.
many chicks have you banged? How many? How many?
And you can
I,
just see them.
like it,
They just keep writing it. They just keep writing it, and it's like the first
I don't-
draft. It's just kind of like, how many different ways can I have this
But-
guy just keep going on and on
You know,
about this in every fucking scene?
And-
he was getting violent, he was throwing things around. He was slamming chairs. He was violent, like
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. And so he lectures Whedon. What is he angry about? Is he jealous? Is he morally
Yes.
repulsed? Is he like?
he.
Is he?
Let
all
me
of
say
it? Oh no.
No. He you know what the secret is? He released it. He was married for 20 years. He said he was married for 20 years, and then he has to watch this fucking guy.
Yeah, but he's also
So that's why he's so
proud of
angry.
that. He's so proud of it. And so anyway, and then you meet who is honestly my favorite character in the film, and I don't really know his name, but another member of True World Force, who is this, the Latino guy who doesn't wear a shirt and just has a bandolier with grenades on it. And he just kind of comes and says, "Hey, everybody! Hey, Weed! How you doing? Hey, Wayne, get a smile on your face. We're all having fun." And I love the guy. He will do something very inexplicable later in the film. So we've got this, and then, yes, Weed goes back to the barn with his signature move, his signature seduction move. Jason, what is that? What does he bring to woo women?
Pizza and champagne.
Yeah, as he says, works every time.
Every time.
So he goes there.
Right, is that sexist?
He meets. I really. Sorry, I've been hogging the recap right now. Does anyone else want to jump in? Anyone want to take this
Right.
over?
I want.
You're doing great.
Yes, John.
Should we?
John.
He froze
Should
up.
we do?
We
Should we
didn't
do
hear you,
raise?
John.
Is this movie sexist?
Oh, we got.
Or should we save that for later?
Yeah, let's hold on.
It's going to be an entire segment that's.
Yeah, let's hold on.
And by the way, we don't
So,
need to make
yeah,
the only woman here in the podcast like, for her gender. Like, you know, we can all discuss whether this
I
movie is
understand.
sexy.
The only positive aspect is that I don't want to ruin it because you're still recapping the film, though. But you know, this I don't want to ruin the plot for everybody. It's really deep. Twists and turns, mostly in bed with Steve Baldwin, but you know what? The only thing that's kind of cool about it is that this female alien is very sexually empowered and not ashamed at all to flaunt what she's got, and so kudos to that.
See, that's Ray. Always looking on the bright side.
So Weed goes back to the barn, and he has now found that this woman is a different woman. Oh no, he goes there. Oh, God. Guys, this is all jumbled.
Yeah, I don't.
He goes there. He sleeps with her, and they have wild sex, like in the barn, disgusting sex. That, you know, with pizza, and then he says, "Hey, by the way, you're probably the alien, right?" Like, he just kind of puts that together out of nowhere, as many people will throughout this film.
I think he like just
No,
confesses, right? I mean,
she never says it. He just says it.
Yeah.
He just says, "You're the alien, right?" And she's like, "Well, yeah." Like, yeah. I mean, she doesn't try to hide it.
Isn't that what
but,
happens in Amanda and the
completely,
Alien? too?
completely the same thing with a man. I mean, it's more
Really weird. Like all of the like parts that you would think that you would use to construct the plot, like finding the alien. There's no legwork. There's no detective work. There's nothing. They just wander into a barn and there
yeah, I
she
mean,
is.
she wants to be found.
And then like figuring out that's the alien. They just know. They're just like, oh, you're an alien,
There you
right?
go.
And you know, yeah, absolutely bizarre.
And he's in no way flapped by this. He's like, "Oh, you know, we're supposed to shoot you, like on sight. We're supposed to kill you. So watch out. You should probably like stay in this barn." Okay, bye.
You're right, though, Jules. You're right. Like, they had a perfect opportunity to build up a little suspense.
Yeah.
No, that's never gonna happen.
And that would actually be like true. That would like show some true like seduction, true like
Yeah,
you know,
something.
some mystery. There's
Yeah.
just some mystery.
Mm-hmm.
So he then goes back to the canteen because it's one of our like 3 sets, and so it's like very similar to Amanda and the Alien. So he goes back to the canteen and he confronts Weed, and we have the same damn discussion again. Oh God, Weed, what is with you sleeping with these women? I don't get to sleep with women. What is with you? Show me this woman, Weed. Show me this woman. And he's like, Payne, you don't want me to do that. Do it. Okay. And he takes him back to the barn. And he goes in the barn, and now it's a new woman. A seductive French woman who's there. And I thought she was French. I thought she was French.
Yeah, her accent was pretty
And
French.
so like
Okay.
and Payne, like, instantly seeing this beautiful woman, recoils in horror. And it almost has tears in his eyes, and he looks at me and he's like, I'm gonna go. You just gonna go. And he
I'm going back to my wife. Ah.
I'm going back to my wife.
What is what?
And so
Diane?
Weed then looks at her and goes, huh? What? And anyone want to come in with what the alien's response is?
What was it?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I
Well,
literally
French,
saw it
I'm guessing.
2 hours ago, and I don't remember.
She says, weed? What's the matter? Do you only love me when I'm black? Which is
Oh, right.
like it's offensive, and I don't know. I just don't. It was so weird. It's the weirdest line in the damn movie. And then he's like, "No, I guess I like you too." And then they go and they have more sex. And
Yeah, like at certain points he tries to like leave her, and she just like her response to that is like, "I'm just going to become a different woman, so you can't
and he's like,
leave
"Okay."
me. You're leaving this other woman. Oh no, you're seduced by
Yeah.
this new womanly
Yeah.
form."
And he brings her
It's
over
like
to a hotel room in the cleverly chosen room 69.
I did notice
Good
that.
message, sir.
Although, yeah, it's hard to miss when like the camera just like pans over
Yeah.
onto
Yeah, and-
it, I guess.
So
I mean that position I think was the only one that was missed
Yeah.
in this film.
does anyone want to discuss the B plots? Like what's been happening while
There were
this
B plots?
There's an ape.
there
You mean the radio
Yeah, the radio.
station? The radio
Oh, yeah.
station is.
I really like that.
SpongeBob SquarePants is a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
I liked the radio station a lot. That's probably my favorite aspect
So,
of this
Jason-
film. Like these
Ray.
key, like,
Jason and Ray, why don't you guys take this section, the radio section? What's going on with radio host Joe Blow, played by the incomparable Tom Kenny, voice of SpongeBob SquarePants, and many other beloved characters?
oh, I
Yeah.
had
So
no
what's
idea.
happening here?
He's an alcoholic radio DJ who somehow knows that there's an alien, and
Yeah,
he's
how did that happen?
broadcasting
Be-
on the radio that there's an alien, and TWS is covering it up.
Hold on. Again, one at a time. Ray, what's happening here?
So the alien girl, our alien girl, what is her name?
Oh,
Did
God.
she decide her name
Amelia?
was? Amelia.
Amelia.
Yes. Amelia
man.
comes
Yeah.
in and like dedicates a song to Steve Baldwin. That's how they know about her as an alien. They're not hiding that there's an alien here.
No, she never
Right.
says she's an alien. She never does.
Right. She just dedicates a song. That's what I don't understand. Yeah, it's like she just dedicates a song. Like, how did you know it was the alien?
Yeah.
What is going on? Like,
It-
yeah.
I mean, I keep
They
saying-
kind
There's a
Because
hot
they
chick
think
that Corporal Weed runs into. It's an alien.
No. I remember. It's like Amelia had a long conversation with the radio DJ, like offline or off the air or whatever. So he knows.
So-
he just knows, and he just like isn't good at keeping secrets because he's like into
But
broadcasting
when
everything. 'Cause he's
was that said? When was that said? I can understand maybe implying that, make it make
because at one
sense.
point Steve Baldwin calls and he's like, "What did she tell you? Did Amelia tell you everything?" Blah blah. Like he's like panicking because he thinks they're going to be able to find her, and then they get separated for a while because she's like, they're just telling too much.
Ray,
They're saying too many like soft rock songs to each other on this radio.
Ray, I
station,
really
basically.
think that your brain is trying to add in plot details that they don't deserve, that they didn't earn. Like,
No,
yeah,
I was actually watching this film. Specifically the radio parts.
Yeah, I got a question.
Because it's kind of fascinating. It's like,
So
The
Stephen
radio-
Baldwin is it?
like unsung heroes of this
Yeah,
film.
for
They die
for next
for
week,
love.
some of our listeners and viewers need to figure out whether or not the radio guy had reason to believe that she was an alien or not.
yeah.
Because we're obviously not going to dig
Yeah.
through this movie again. But
Can I ask
Yeah.
a question?
somebody needs to.
Radio host Joe Blow intercepted the communication from General Hayden out to his forces to look out for this alien. Like, basically, they didn't even have it on a secure channel. They were just
Right.
putting it out. And he's like, well, I guess I'm just going to talk about all of this. And he's talking about it all the time. That's his whole broadcast about, I know there's an alien out there and everybody's getting shot and everything, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. General Hayden is listening to this, and this is the most lenient, like, martial law dystopian. Like in any other movie, like in reality, right now, like until tomorrow with the inauguration, like if Trump had been listening, if President Donald Trump had been listening to a radio DJ talking some junk about him, you know he ordered people to kill him. Like immediately, like kill that guy right now. Nobody did it, but he ordered it. General Hayden, who has the complete authority to murder anyone, listens to Joe Blow for hours and is like, something maybe should be done about this guy at some point in the future. Like, it's like not at all a priority. So yeah, Ray, like you said, so first you've got this thing before, yes, there's this love thing where they're sending dedicated songs on the radio, but before that point, Payne tracks down Weed to his lover's hotel and has a scene. This is the ultimate angry at sex scene that Weed has. And this is it follows the exact same pattern as every other scene in the movie so far, which is Payne is angry at Weed because Weed has sex. And we don't know why he's angry. Is he angry because he has a wife and he doesn't get to sleep with lots of women? Is he just think that sleeping promiscuously is a morally reprehensible thing? We do not know, but we know he's conflicted and torn up about it. And
I've been trying to ask a question for a while. Everyone's ignoring me. Can I ask a question?
Please.
So, Stephen Baldwin is a born-again Christian. Is it a sin to fornicate with an alien? Or is that cool?
I would think so.
You think
I
would
think,
or would?
I think it's against God.
You do?
I do. What does the
Why?
audience think? Does
It doesn't.
does Orthodox
There's nothing in
Christianity
the Bible
allow
about
you to
it.
have sex with aliens? Does it? I don't know.
I mean, she looks
I
like a
don't
woman, so I'd say.
I don't know if Stephen Baldwin would do this movie otherwise.
I don't think he
Maybe
would want
that's
that.
why they're aliens.
I don't.
Maybe this movie wasn't going to be about aliens, and they made it about aliens.
Well, no, but
Specifically
Stephen
because he's like,
Baldwin
listen, I'm a Christian. I can't bang a bunch of chicks. I can bang aliens, though.
It's technically all one woman, and Steve Baldwin does want to marry her at the end. So I mean,
He never says he wants to marry her.
he says he wants to spend the
Ray
rest of
is
his
so
life with her.
optimistic.
Well, I mean, I just assume if you marry someone, ideally you spend the rest of your life with them. I know that's like, not always a scenario, but I guess I'm just
Like,
jumping the gun here.
Man, don't
Yeah.
don't throw a ring on that before it needs to be, Ray. Like,
Where are we in the
Joe, you're
process?
just-
here's where we are.
Especially
Here's where
when
we
the
are.
ring
And-
finger size keeps changing.
I will be happy to relinquish the wheel after this scene because I want to talk about this scene. This is because it's the last of the Payne pontificating on fornication scene. It's an important so Weed is coming out of the hotel room.
It's a pleasure.
And Payne grabs him, slams him into the wall. And this is, I've been mentally working on this impression for a while. So this is, I want to convey the turmoil within Payne here. So it's, what are you doing? What are you doing, Weed? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Oh my God, why are you doing this? And then Weed will respond, I'm in love, lust. L-U-S-T, lust. What, get that through your thick skull.
I mean, that
He was torn apart.
what's so weird about that scene is that that's what it's all about, despite the fact that it could just be about the fact that.
But
it's
and
the
then
alien.
right,
You know what I mean?
right then,
He could
only
be
then-
mad for 20 minutes in an elevator or whatever about it being the alien.
Yeah, but
That's a big deal.
this is
But
just
no, it's just
it's
more of the same.
And so then, and out of nowhere, Payne goes, when he's holding back his tears, he goes, she's the alien, isn't she? Isn't she? I knew it. How did you know that, Payne? You're There's nothing that's happened that will make you think that. And which brings me to my thesis statement of this film. Jules, you think it reads like a one draft, as all of these films do, like the first draft of the script.
Yeah.
I say there's no script. This is community theater improv. That's what this is.
Oh.
I say there's no,
Oh.
like, this is why
Look at Jill's face.
keep doing this. This is just every time you're in a different location and they're just like doing
Metagaming.
they're just doing another improv exercise, and Sledgehammer just has it in his head that this is what his character is. That's why,
Gerald brings up a good point. Maybe Payne is just upset because he's in love with Steve Baldwin,
that could be.
and she's getting in the way of the bromance. You know.
It's
He does sacrifice himself in the end.
True.
Spoilers, but you know, yeah.
so, guys. I've been taking up a lot of airtime here, and I'm happy to concede the stage. But that was an important scene to me, and it ends with Payne, TV Sledgehammer, in tears, going, "I'm just done with this. I'm just done." And he wanders away.
But no, but you missed the whole point where he draws the gun out on the alien, and she
That's
totally
coming
like.
up. That's in the,
that's later on.
so because this takes us to.
Okay.
Like, Weed then goes on patrol. He's like, oh, and that is of course in the scene where you find out the crux of Amelia the alien's problem, which, well, one of them is she's frustrated with all these men she sleeps with because on her planet you gain energy from sex and pleasure, but on Earth it seems like people lose their energy.
Yeah.
Albert's killing it in the comments, by the way. Such a good sequel
anyone-
setup
and for them-
that weekend too. Love is
That's the
pain
best title
with a Y.
I've ever heard. So,
Nice.
so now Weed goes back on patrol. He goes out, and Amelia leaves for no reason.
Right.
She leaves the hotel room for no
Where did she have to go? What is
Yeah,
she doing?
and so
I understand she's a tourist, but like, what is she doing other than
yeah,
sleeping
and,
with Stephen Baldwin?
and I was talking to someone about this movie, and like, this was the worst vacation spot for this alien to go. Like, you know, it's.
It all depends what you're into, what you're looking for on a vacation, Ian.
But she's already stated she's not getting what she wanted from this vacation. It's this horrible planet that's ugly and she doesn't like it, and the people here lose energy after sex. It's just terrible. Like, and it really is like, what do I want to do on vacation? Oh, okay, I'm gonna go to like Kuwait in the 90s. Like, it's, you know, I'm just gonna go to like a war-torn wasteland. That sounds fun. But anyway, so she calls Joe Blow, the radio host, and dedicates a song to Weed. Joe Blow dedicates the song to Weed. Everyone in the canteen doesn't think anything of it. They don't think alien. They go, oh, Weed and those ladies again. And so Weed then goes, and somehow he knows that she's not there anymore. Why would he think that? Why would he think that Amelia was going to leave the hotel room? But he calls Joe Blow and says, and you described this earlier, Ray, hey, what can you tell me about her? And Joe Blow very obviously says, nothing. I don't know anything. It's like, no. Did she say where she is? No, she didn't. And in one of the purely like logical and reasonable statements of the film, Joe Blow, the radio host, says, you really don't understand how dedicating songs work, do you? She dedicated the song to you, and now you can dedicate the song to her. Does. And that's it. There's never any insinuation in the dedication that she's. There's none of
Okay.
it. There's none of
I guess
that.
I just filled in the blanks for what I wanted.
I will say, your brain wanted to make sense.
Ray made sense to this
Yeah.
movie. Ray made the second draft of this movie that would make some sense. Because Lauren was giving
I
me a
added
hard
some
time.
character depth that wasn't there.
because
Yet again.
Lauren was giving me a hard time because I was wearing headphones and talking to myself and I didn't realize it. And like, apparently like every 10 or 15 seconds I was just like, what? 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 Just like it just kept happening.
We have a
So
question from the audience. The character's real name was Joe Blow. Yes, that is correct.
his radio
name
name,
was Joe.
his radio name. We don't know his real name.
Tom Kenny, TV SpongeBob SquarePants, the Ice King from Adventure Time, also played Joe Blow, the raunchy radio host.
Oh.
And I agree with you, Cheryl. He does a fine job. Like, Tom Kenny's a good improviser. He's a great voice actor, and he's just manic and he's having fun. He's doing the best he can here. Also, in the background, the B plot is that True World Force has been gunning down everyone in the streets. And these gangs, and how they did this, I don't know. It is the only non-multi-ethnic street gang in 80s and 90s. Like, that was the thing. You had a multi-ethnic street gang, and not only is this not a multi-ethnic street gang, it's a completely white street gang, which I think is kind of nice. That like the villainous,
I think they had one guy. They had one guy.
Are not minority. Like
They had one guy.
Horrible. Yep.
They
had one guy.
There was, I swear, I do remember some.
I just
gang
remember
member not
boomboxes.
being right. I do. There was at least one.
How
Vaguely.
about, guys, like the fact that there is literally nothing in this movie that signifies it's the future? Nothing. All they did is they have empty streets, normal cars, and some guys with guns. There's nothing.
No.
So I'm gonna take this away. I'm gonna step away now. I've gotten us to the dueling radio song dedications. Anyone want to take it over from here?
Not me. I mean, this movie wasn't worth watching, much less talking about. I mean, I'm happy with you going through it,
Okay.
and I'll just make,
All
comments
right.
along the way, but I'm certainly not going to retell the story.
So I just said, all right. Jules, did you want to take over?
Well, no. There's one scene that I want to talk about in some detail because that's where the whole movie just went into another. And I'm talking about when he goes home.
Yes, that's where we're going.
To the pigeon coop.
And this is one of two special effects in this film. And it's worse than almost anything I've ever seen. So we go to Weed's home, which is, I know I just said there's nothing that indicates the future, but like this is kind of it. Like they're trying to like give this just Blade Runner kind of feel of like dilapidated giant skyscrapers. So he's up in his skyscraper in his home that just has nets everywhere. I guess that means like Mad Maxy kind of future. There's nets everywhere. His room is filled with nets, and there's like a balcony entrance to the rooftop where there are pigeon coops. I guess Weed keeps pigeons. I don't know. And he's there.
He's living in a pigeon coop. That's the implication.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that there's
And
a skyscraper and there's a pigeon coop on top, and then he lives in this tiny room with the weird drapes.
Yeah.
Next to
now,
in the chicken coop, and not the chicken.
And here's the thing that I just could not get past throughout this entire thing. I could not get past it. It's obviously a green screened background. Like they've just put a green screen there.
It's not.
No, because okay, Jules. Let me tell you what I saw.
Because what you're talking about is that all the buildings are at the wrong.
Yeah,
angle.
they're all at the wrong angle.
And those are translights. Those are just gigantic backlit transparencies that you normally put outside of a window on a TV show.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's the way TV shows work. Is outside the window they've got a gigantic transparency.
Wasn't it a
backlight
screen?
No.
Okay, because
and for whatever reason they're at bizarre angles, like looking down at the street, and then they're crooked. I can't.
Everybody imagine this. I'm going to paint a word picture here. Imagine you are in your home, and you're in a skyscraper. You're in your home, and you look to your left at your window, and the window is as if you were looking straight at the ground. As if, like,
Yes.
the normal perspective of the ground, like where you don't go out the window and look down, you look at the window and there's the ground. And that's what it was, and I could not get past it.
No.
Now, Amelia has now turned into a kind of gruff LA, sexy, sultry LA woman. And then you have the pivotal scene between the alien and Payne. Because Payne shows up, has a gun to her back, and he's like, all right, honey, I'm going to take you in right now. We're going to be done with this nightmare. Enough of weed having sex. Enough of everything. We're going to get our life back. You're going to die. And then she turns around, grabs his gun, and turns into like the Predator / a Jedi. Like she uses telekinesis on him. She lifts him up. She threatens to shoot his penis off. Like, and we just crumble. He just crumbles. He's like, I'll do whatever you want, lady. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
He also,
Please, I got a wife. I talk about her all the time. Please. And she's like, okay, get out of here. And that's enough for now Payne to respect her.
Yeah.
He now respects this conversation, respects this couple, and is willing to die for them at this point.
And then she goes into the pigeon coop. Stephen Baldwin comes out, and they have more of the same conversation that they always have. But then when you go back, she's now shapeshifted into glasses.
She had glasses and red hair.
That was I can't even.
And like
between
she had like a completely different accent, like a southern accent. Now all of a sudden,
yeah.
And one of my favorite shots was in that scene where she was like laying on the bed with a chicken hand puppet on, smoking a cigarette for a minute. Like just that one shot did not fit the rest of the movie.
God, does she keep
this is a very bored alien.
so bored?
Very bored.
And now we get to the exposition section, the interminably long exposition section, where Amelia explains her species and what's wrong with her. And I can't do it. Somebody else needs to.
No, there's no way to do it. It didn't make any sense. I mean, it was just like, this is why this scene is just like the nexus of all of the nonsense just happened. and like, because I don't know, she's like talking about, she's like, oh,
like
QSS or something. I'm like,
This is
what are you
disease.
talking about? And she's like, oh, you're gonna cure all the diseases. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What? Like, and then DNA, and then
Yeah,
It was basically like the more she feeds on sexual energy, it could shorten her lifespan or something.
No,
right?
It was the opposite. It was the only way for her to live was to keep
Yeah.
sleeping with Stephen
She
Baldwin.
said that she could live to be 150 if she
Right.
not only has sex a lot, but also reaches her, what was it, pinnacle of desire or something like that?
I don't.
Like,
yeah.
one of them at one point he says like she's like she's like, with this disease, I'm sorry, I was giving her the French accent before, like, with this disease I might only live 200 years. And he's like, how long do your people live? Pretty much forever. How old's the oldest person on your planet? About 600. I'm like, that's not forever. That's really long. That's really long, kind of. But like, there are trees on this planet that are old. It's not forever, is all I'm saying. But the conversation starts with like this prophecy, like within 20 years, you will cure all diseases except for this one. I have this one. It's why. So is the disease why she shapeshifts? Yes. It makes my molecule unstable and something like that.
Destabilized her DNA and causes her DNA to change, and she just turns into different women. Yes.
None of it makes
the obvious thing.
It was pleasure threshold. To live for a long time, she had to reach the pleasure threshold.
Yeah, if she was actually DNA changing, it just occurred to me that, like, the thing to do early in the movie is to just like take Stephen Baldwin's clothes and just like become a man and join the Force and then leave. But that was, you know, because if you're a shape-shifting alien, she could have
Well, I think
done that, right?
Well,
she explained that shape shifting is not something she does on purpose or picks. It's like this disease
So,
just
right.
causes a random shape shift in
Which is
DNA.
Right.
which is weird because the shape shifting was originally said to be an expression of intimacy.
yeah,
Yeah, she said, "Well, we express ourselves," and they
I just
changed
read that
it
from
later.
yeah. Ray, you were about to say something?
And maybe it could be both, where it's an expression of intimacy, but she doesn't have control over it. But yeah, that's kind of maybe a plot hole. But yeah, if everyone on the planet was like this, it wouldn't be special anymore, right? Like if if anyone could
Like
change.
so, yeah. And it's after this point that if there were rails before, we now will fall off. They will completely fall off the rails at this point. It will just be a hodgepodge of weird scenes that make no sense at
This is
all.
the point,
Now, I mean, I'm
that all the other Showtime movies hit. That is that point. It's a 60-minute point in the 90-minute movie where you're just like, what is going to even happen in the next half an hour, and why should I care? I don't, you know.
like Hayden decides to crack down on Joe Blow, and everyone now has figured out, without any evidence, that Weed is a traitor and is harboring the alien. Everyone on the planet knows this now.
Mhm.
And there's no reason they do, but they do. So Hayden's like,
There's nothing better to do in the post-apocalypse except for gossip about your friend who's having more sex than you or whatever, I guess.
and so Weed kind of goes back to work. Well, he has the masterful plan of he follows another True World Force soldier, hits him in the back of the head with a plank, kills him. I'm going to say killed him there. He's bleeding from his head, and steals his name tag, Peckinpah, which I'm assuming they're making some Sam Peckinpah reference right there. Am I? I think so.
Janet Peckinpah.
But,
Possibly.
yeah, or Janet. Okay. So, and so he's like, well, I got this Peckinpah name tag. No one's ever gonna figure me out, and they don't. They don't. He will wander into these groups of True World Force officers that all hang out. They all hang out at the canteen all the time. And they're like, oh, hey, Peckinpah. Hey, guys. It was the perfect disguise.
Yeah.
It was the perfect disguise.
Well, nobody really, nobody knew him other than,
Everybody knew him. Everybody in the canteen. Like when that
there are lots of
when
canteens.
there's only
I mean, it was obviously,
one canteen. There's only
we have to use our imagination and believe that there are lots of.
So anyway, and then of course, that's when Joe Blow and his wig-wearing assistant meet their ignominious end. Did I say that? Is that a real word? I think it's a real word. Anyway, so Tom Kenny warns his assistant, don't go outside. It's crazy out there. And he's like, no, I can smell those True World Force guys a mile away. And then in the only interesting set decision of the film, you see him come out of an underground bunker. I thought that was kind of cool.
I was impressed by the location scout. That was like the only work they did in that movie was finding a fucking pre-existing bunker that just come out of.
Yeah. So he comes out and he goes and gets 2 coffees. Where did he get the coffee?
I wondered
7-Eleven.
the same thing. I wondered the same thing.
Where did he buy the coffee? Everyone's evacuated. True World Force has gunned down every living person in the city. Where is this Starbucks he's got to? Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Where is the retro cafe that he went to?
John is broken. John just is broken there in the corner.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
You
We
don't
we
see
broke
me?
John.
oh,
Huh?
John's
What?
there.
What? I'm
No, you were literally, you weren't frozen like in the internet sense. You were frozen in like the soul sense. Okay.
yeah. My soul died when I watched this movie.
So
for
then-
a long time.
This movie
Yeah.
broke me. I'm not gonna lie.
We digress.
I'm gonna wrap this up so we can rip
Yeah,
it apart.
yeah.
So at that point, then, the radio host assistant gets accosted by some True World Force soldiers. Apparently, he can't smell them a mile away, and they kind of rib on him a little bit. He never says who he is. He never says who he is. And then one of them takes his thing of coffee and pours poison in the coffee, and then they let him go. They let him go to go on his merry way. Somehow, they knew that he's with the radio host because they're like, hey, let's go back to the canteen. Let's listen to a guy get killed on the radio. I've never listened to anyone get killed on the radio before, which I actually thought was really grisly. That was a really grisly statement. But there's no way they knew this. There's no way they knew who this guy was. And then they get accosted by the street gangs and get machine gunned.
Yeah.
The guy goes back in, gives Tom Kenny the coffee. They both dutifully drink the coffee and die on air in a pretty horrifying fashion. Like, that was the only scene that kind of got me. I'm like, oh, this is making me really uncomfortable. So then
They die doing what
They
they
did.
loved, Ian.
did.
And I hope that
Brady.
isn't a foreshadowing for how this podcast is going to end.
It might. So now then Weed finds Amelia. They go to the spot where her spaceship is going to pick them up. They then get attacked by True World Force soldiers, and then Payne comes there as the clutch hero. He comes out, he defends them. He's like shooting and now it's Weed and Payne against the world, while Amelia is going to her spaceship, and then Payne gets shot to death. Weed does not seem to care about this in the least. Shows no emotion at this, as he's shown emotion never in this entire film. Even when he's professed his love, he's never shown any emotion. I'm gonna backtrack. Like, Amelia makes it really clear that this was just a summer romance, and there's no way this dirtbag is allowed on it. Even like he made the ending of Amanda and the Aliens seem romantic. Well, the ending was like, I guess I can't come with you, and he's like, no, and she's like, that's like, that was just a stupid idea, and he's like, no, not stupid, just impossible. That was damn near romantic compared to Stephen Baldwin says, I'm gonna come with you, and she's like, no. No. Like, no, I need to be with you. She's like, my parents would evaporate if I came home with a human. like, you don't know my world. We're very prejudiced. And he's like, I don't care about anyone. I don't care about Payne. I don't care about my job. I don't care about Earth. I don't care about your parents. And she's like, yeah, but I do. I'm sorry, Weed. I gotta go. It's getting late. And so then, but still, Payne and Weed defend her as she gets to her spaceship, which is the most like Plan 9 from outer space spaceship I've ever seen outside of like the 50s. And
Cardboard spaceship.
it's like straight up freaking cardboard spaceship.
That is where it's given
Spaceship
away.
is lame.
But in terms of the director on IMDb apologizing for this movie, his crazy, coked up roommate who wrote this or whatever was thinking of Edward movies when he wrote this.
Okay.
That's
That's a real apologist right there. That's after the fact.
Thank you, Mom.
It's not after the fact. It was literally when he was thinking of when he wrote it. When he
So yeah, okay. So then Payne's dead. Weed gets shot up. He's not dead yet, but he's shot up. And everyone's going around to the bodies. Now, do you remember earlier my favorite character in this film? Shirtless,
Yes.
Latino, bandoliered with grenades guy. Then, when one of them is kind of poking at Weed, jumps behind this shoulder and puts a knife to his throat. No reason for that. They're all on the same team. He never showed any real affinity for weed at all. But he's like, and like, it's not even, he's like, don't touch him. He's like, hey, you, how you doing? Why is this happening? Why?
Well, doesn't Amelia make some speech from the spaceship where she's kind of like, I never was a threat to you guys. I just came here to have fun.
Yep.
I mean, maybe he felt inspired by Amelia's speech on free love.
He does the knife to the throat thing before. But so yeah, you are correct, Ray. Amelia.
I'm just embellishing. I'm just adding depth to the movie.
So
once again, adding things that aren't there.
Fixing script, you know.
Ray.
No one is
paying you for this, Ray. No one is paying you.
I feel like, yeah, I gotta stop doing this in my own life and also on this podcast.
So Amelia, as you said, Ray, comes down from the spaceship, and then morally dresses down all of humanity. Says, "I was never a threat to any of you. You feel that destruction gives you power, but where I'm from, pleasure gives you power." And she clucks her tongues at them and dresses them down and takes weed into her spaceship and flies away.
And that was the shittiest spaceship ever.
And
that was the shittiest.
We know they could do better because in Amanda and the Alien, they had a CGI spaceship.
And that was before this movie.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. No, it was. Yeah. That's the chronology.
Everybody, that's Dead Weekend. We've gone through it. Ray, is this movie sexist?
Okay, that's not the question.
What we really want to know.
It doesn't pass the Benchel test, that's for sure. Because there's only one woman. There's only one woman in the movie, right? I mean, is there any other women in the movie?
Alien. She's not a woman, right? She's an alien.
But I mean, there's some other women on at the military base. They don't have any lines. They don't have any.
No female person in this film talks to another female person in this film.
And also talks to another female about something other than a man. So yeah, I mean, like I said, the only thing is that Amelia seems like a very empowered female, who is very in touch with her. She's very in touch with her sexuality. There's no body shaming because she's literally every single woman you could ever possibly be with. So I mean, I guess there's that, but.
You're not going to tell me that Stephen Baldwin was in a sexist movie, are you?
No, it
just doesn't make any sense.
That's literally just like a weird porno film.
It wasn't a soft core. It was this was pillow core.
This is literally like a porn film that went on way too long.
Oh God!
It was like porn for it was like. You know how they have PG-13 or this is PG, this is X, 13
or whatever. That was freaking weird. It was such a weird, convoluted storyline. They could have add some more depth, add some more character development, but they just decided not to. Just a weird, codependent, infatuation relationship where a man betrays his own military brotherhood and the country just to fuck this alien woman.
Yeah, it's
may or may not kill his best friend in any moment.
Weird character arc to be the character's flaw is that he sleeps with too many women, and the solution to that is that there's a woman who can become any woman. That's a really weird.
But I want to address this.
It's just kind of I don't even know what's the moral here.
You could
at all.
But you could critique this film and say it's offensive because look at the weed, it's just he wants to sleep with lots of women and that's why she's the perfect woman. She can just become any woman, and I don't think there's enough character for weed for that. I don't think he's that nuanced. Like he never like there's so nothing there to Stephen Baldwin that you can't even say that like his thing is he's promiscuous. Like he's so blank. Like he would have gone along with anything. Anything could have happened. Like
He's a
it reminds
meathead,
it
right?
reminds me of,
He
like,
plays like a good meathead.
yeah. But like, it reminds me of
Airhead. He was
Usual
just like,
Suspects.
like my favorite scene in Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones is like when we've established these clones and Natalie Portman's character like falls in the desert and a bunch of clones, they don't know who she is, runs up to her and is like, hey, you. And she gets up and goes, you, follow me. We have to save Anakin. And they're like, yes, sir. And it's just like anyone with a stern voice could command these people. That's what Stephen Baldwin was like. He just wanders into the barn and there's this girl and she's like, hello. He's like, hey, okay. Like, that's all he is. There's no I don't buy it. I don't like.
Well, no, I mean it's literally
No,
clearly that.
he was wearing a very nice like silver lame like bikini / dress, which does kind of lend itself to believe that she may be an alien chick.
Yeah.
So there was
Well, yeah,
or just
yeah.
a stripper.
or just
I could.
a stripper.
And by the way, it wasn't just the bikini. Like she had an entire array of silver lame.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
That she in her
yeah,
made alien pink duffel bag.
Yeah. yes. She's on vacation, Ian. She's on vacation. She's accessorizing.
Oh, we forgot an important part. Randomly, right before they go on the spaceship, like before True World Force comes out and attacks, she goes, "Oh, I feel the disease fading. I think I'm cured."
Jules like that.
I no, I didn't. I somehow I was so tuned out of the movie. I guess I missed
Yep.
that.
Yep. So, Jason,
Yeah.
how did this film impact you? What do you have to say about this film? Any
Um,
particular that drilled
Yeah,
themselves into your memory?
that's the whole thing. The whole movie felt so flat, and the acting was so airhead, like what you said, that it just didn't have any impact. Like I felt like I was just losing brain cells, kind of in like a dull, just like watching it. You know,
For real.
I can't say there was an impact unless the impact was that it was dulling.
Ray, how
I mean,
about
does
you?
Baldwin get to like live with his like sex doll alien girlfriend like on her planet, or is he dying on the alien
Oh, no,
ship?
I
mean,
think-
what do you guys think?
I think she's going to cure him, and then they're going to make them break up because they're a very prejudiced planet. Like this is going to go well. Like he'll get farmed out and devoured or something like that. I don't know. I don't think this is going to go well for Weed. I don't think this ends well for this character.
He was born.
But Ray, I want to know your thoughts on how does this film make you feel?
Empowered as a woman.
Yeah, this film
Didn't do much for you either, huh?
Ray, let me ask you a
disappointing.
question. Ray, let me ask you a question. If you were like, if you were on a date and like you brought a guy home and you wanted some action, would you put this on knowing it's so boring that some action has to come out of it?
No.
He's gonna start making out with you because there's nothing to pay attention to in the movie.
No. So I mean, I guess like if
I
I'm
think
an
that'd be
alien,
a good move.
I just think there could have been some like better pillow talks and better philosophical discussion between the alien and Baldwin. I mean, it doesn't really like turn me on, you know. There's just like nothing like really. I agree with Ian where like there was an opportunity for Stephen Baldwin's character to be kind of like more like insatiable, like he needs to be with all sorts of different women, and like somehow this alien woman meets that, and she does some weird accents. I mean, she does a good job, like, you know, she's literally other women, so that helps. But like, you know, there's like this opportunity there to add a little more depth to the characters that it's kind of missed. Yeah, I don't know. This movie really pissed me off. I'm just gonna. I literally was like.
Everybody mad at
cussing
Jules? It's not
like,
just me, right?
what?
Raise your hand if you hate Jules.
Is this,
Raise your hand if you hate
I
Jules.
used to have.
Come on.
is this a bad
Yeah.
movie show or not? Is this a
Like,
bad?
everybody
what's
else
I can't give me. I would not be like.
I know, but we have
"Watch
standards,
it."
God damn it.
No.
I know. It's like, what is
No,
this like?
No,
And
yeah,
so
is
did
everybody's whistling out? Everybody's whistling out of the bad movie premise
Mhm.
by thinking that we're gonna watch nothing but Superman 4 and Super Mario Brothers forever.
I was like, I like was literally to John. I was like, I thought better of Jules. He's like, you're assuming he watched this movie, Ray? Like,
No.
I-
I'm
like,
gonna
no.
I'm coming to my dear friend's defense. What did you want? Like, what did you all want? You got John over here. You got John over here who's like gearing up to kill somebody with a movie. Like, why are you
Can I
getting so
answer?
mad at Jules about this?
what? I
Like,
think highly of Jules
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
just expected a better Gallagher
he didn't make the
film.
movie.
No, if he made the movie, then I would understand why he'd want us to watch it. I mean, literally, we watched something similar. It almost put me on Zoloft, and then he found another one exactly like it and made me watch it.
This one was worse. Like this one was just
So
like
much worse. Yeah, Jason.
What was
you-
worse?
It's so much worse than Amanda and the Alien. It is so.
Oh yeah, this is so much
Right.
worse. This is the worst. Do we all
Can't
agree
tell
this
the
is the
difference.
worst movie we've seen
I
so
I
far?
can't tell the difference
Absolutely.
between this and Amanda and the Alien. I can't.
Jules,
Yes.
It's.
Jules, you're
I
tied.
can't.
Where are you with it?
Yeah, I'm saying they're equivalent.
There's no way.
Ian, you said
No, we're not even close.
and
I mean, at
Alien
least-
they were trying to make Earth Girls Are Easy. I get that. With Dead Weekend, they weren't trying to make anything.
Nothing. Jason, yes. Like, I can't even tell you here. So, John, this one movie almost killed you. The last film in our Showtime trilogy nearly killed you. What are your thoughts?
would be more I would have got out more of a movie if there was just a person standing there going for an hour and a half. I mean, there was nothing.
You went to my film school then. Okay.
Oh, I guess you weren't
Went to a
watching
good
this
school, man. Don't just school.
John,
We'll make a
it's
John
basically
McCarthy
that.
joke there, but okay.
All right. No.
But anyways, yeah.
All right.
But,
Is that where you stand, John? Is that where you stand? Like, those are your final words on this film?
Yeah, there was like, I mean, it was just like, I mean, just watching this movie is showing more respect than what they put into the. I felt I was putting more effort into watching the movie than the filmmakers
They
put
didn't
into
do
making
Aaron,
the
right?
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say what I have to say, and then I want the final word on this film to be from Jules. My final thought is, and John, you're gonna be disappointed. Like, this is the worst movie we've seen. This is
Oh, I expected. You liked it.
absolutely a Mystery Science Theater 3000. It absolutely is. No, but I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it
I'm not like
either.
I'm,
No, I'm not mad at it at all. I'm mad at Jules. Don't get me wrong. No, listen, I don't hate him either. I've known Jules for decades. I don't hate him. It's just his guts I can't stand.
it is. I stand by this entire film was essentially a improv lesson. They were improving these scenes. They just kept shooting. They got a location. They just said, all right, guys, kind of do something here. And that's what it is. That's what it feels like. And I will bet money. I'm not saying there wasn't a script.
If that Payne guy was just, if
Can we
Payne
do
was
an
improvising,
addendum episode?
he did a great job. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, Jules.
Can I do an addendum episode if I can get the director of the movie to come on and get it off his chest, because he seems to want to.
Yes.
Yeah, let's invite him on.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
I will invite him on.
Episode.
Yeah.
Jules,
okay.
was
This will be a bonus episode, and it will redeem the process we all had to go through
I
in
think
terms of
we're
watching this.
Can I make a prediction?
What?
Forsaken
Jules,
now.
Can I make a prediction?
director
Next
of
film review.
No,
Can
wait.
we move on to that?
Wait.
Hold on. John has a
What do you
prediction.
think,
John has a
Kristen?
prediction. Then Jason's going to
Okay.
speak. John, go for it.
If we get the director of this film on, I bet he will be
Mhm.
on my side and fucking hate Jules for making us watch his film that he directed. Go ahead.
All right, I will not take the other side of
Jason.
that. Jason, what
Jason.
were you saying?
Was the director of this at all also involved in Amanda and the Alien?
No, he was hired by the same production
Okay.
company. He's completely separate. A completely different director. And yes, he's not happy about what happened.
So,
Whatever, so that's all I know. Yeah.
guys, we've come full circle where it's my turn to choose the movie for this week. And
Dude,
I think I'm going to I
Wait,
think
stop.
I'm going to be pulling why are you interrupting? John, what do you want me to stop?
I want you to think this through. Don't just willy-nilly fucking throw it out. You can really
I
hurt
have
me.
thought it through.
No.
Con-
Just
Consider my feelings and consider my
John,
mental health. Unlike
take it.
Jules,
I'm going to say this right now.
Mhm.
I'm giving you consideration that I know you will not give me because you absolutely
No.
want to hurt me. This film,
no, I don't want to hurt you. I want to hurt Jules.
The statements from episode 3.
I've already forgotten about
The
that.
statement from Super Mario Brothers contradicts that. But anyway, I'm moving on. I'm pulling a John Carrier episode 2. I'm pulling this because the movie I'm going to choose is not good. It meets our standards, but it might be too good. But I'm going to throw it out here
Mhm.
because we have been on a dystopian future kick. And I don't want to drop the ball on that. And if I'm not going to drop that ball, then we are going to watch 1975's Rollerball.
Oh,
Rollerball, everybody.
Okay.
It's bad, but is it bad enough? I don't know. Everybody here, we have 1 week to watch James Caan in Rollerball. Everybody at home, all 600,000 of you that have been tuning in here and are waiting with bated breath, go fly, my pretties, and watch Rollerball.
yeah. All of a sudden, this movie is going to get really popular because of our podcast.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, we're the kingmakers.
With that, everybody,
Before we leave, I insist upon saying my movie. I insist
Yeah,
upon
John has
saying my
Say his
movie.
movie.
you're
I
going to
have
say
to.
it?
Mhm.
I have to.
Oh, God.
I have to.
John has to.
It's so good. Again, it's 0.00% rating on
You know what
on Rotten Tomatoes.
happened, though, John? The last time you did this, you ended up changing it.
I'm not going to change this. I promise you.
I really hope you do change it, John, because I know
And
exactly.
Ray
what
knows
I'm-
this. It's 0.00.
Oh,
And listen,
don't do it, John.
so the movie I'm going to pick, not next week, but it'll be the week after.
Mhm.
I'm doing it. That Jules is going to have to watch.
Love in your heart. Just
It's a
don't.
movie by,
do
by television's hit star of the
Don't
90s,
say it.
Kirk Cameron,
No!
No.
Saving Christmas. Yes.
F you.
No,
Oh,
not
yeah.
the Christmas one. Not,
Oh, yeah, the Christmas
God.
one. Yeah.
no.
You're going to be lectured.
Not
Jules is going to
Christmas.
sit there and be lectured by Kirk Cameron about how Christmas is not a Druid holiday and is not based in.
Can we have the fireman one instead? I like the fireman.
We all know
one.
Jules is a confirmed atheist, so he's going to be lectured for an hour and a half by Kirk Cameron.
I'm telling you right now, I think you're
This
going to
time.
lose, John. I think Jules is just going to tune him out. But I'm so
Just
angry
you
at you.
try. I've been
I am angry at you right now, not because I can't handle this movie. I can handle this movie. But Kirk Cameron is the third rail of bad movies. You don't watch that junk. You don't
so
watch
happy with myself.
film.
I'm
You
so
don't do
happy with myself.
I'm going to
Oh,
say
yeah,
what
I
you
do.
know about Dead Weekend. Dead
No,
Weekend
no, no.
doesn't hurt anybody.
No, Jules stepped over the line. Okay. Once he stepped over that line, all the rules are out the window. We're doing Kirk Cameron. I'm not going to change it. We're all going to have to watch it, and then we're going to have to talk about it.
My God, John. Like, the man went out Christmas caroling without a mask to make
Yeah.
a point.
Did you see his banana video?
Yes, when I saw
He's
the
talking
banana
about
video, I decided Kirk Cameron is bananas.
Kirk Cameron is
Did you see?
so out of touch. He's so like, like,
Don't
are we gonna really like waste that much time watching?
Yeah, we are. Yes, we are. Yes. And you know what? It still won't be the worst movie we've seen.
He like ruined people's lives on Growing Pains.
Yeah, well, he's going to
God.
ruin some more lives because we're all watching
Yeah.
it. There's no way getting it out. And the worst part is, you know, for 2 weeks that you're going to have to watch this.
That's
Well, so
That's
does,
why
our,
it's just on the thing and now.
so does our
What?
leader of 600,000 followers.
They're going to have to.
They have to
You know what? I
Me
think
too.
this podcast,
Do you know what you've
we
done?
need to have
John?
like a
Like, people are going to watch this. It's going to boost his ratings. It's going to help him. You're to blame.
No, I'll get the link to a pirated copy.
you know what I
Maybe-
think we need to do, guys? I think like on this
Work. Maybe
podcast,
Hold on. Let
What?
Race.
if a movie is so bad, we should have like, if we can all like American Idol style, like say, no, John, we're not watching this film. Like just vote it out.
No, we can't do that. We can't. Like that.
Cameron, no.
Albert wrote Saving Christmas starring Kirk Cameron as Kirk. Says so much already.
They might have to do the episode where we have a guest star instead of me. because-
Maybe it'll work. Maybe we'll come back and like Jules will be this like proud Christian.
I like,
Yep.
not
Maybe
only-
it'll work. Who knows?
I'd like to note that not only has John inflicted this upon us, he stole my rollerball thunder.
I agree.
That's
This was
just
my,
true.
this was my
I
moment.
agree. Man.
This was
I
my
agree.
moment.
Because you know what? Rollerball is going to seem so much
It's
awesome.
gonna be so good.
Yeah,
We're gonna,
Like,
we're gonna
That's-
love it
Yeah.
knowing that Kirk Cameron's next.
we're gonna be spending a year going, remember rollerball? That was fantastic.
I know.
And
Remember the
Rollerball
good old days
doesn't deserve it.
before John started putting Kirk Cameron movies up.
Anyway, guys, individually, say goodnight. Say goodnight.
Good
Not
night.
everybody all at once.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Newman's on here. Hey Newman.
Hey,
We're
everybody.
gonna do Corvette Summer sometime, buddy. Don't
Thank
you
you
worry.
everybody for listening.
Yeah.
My name's Ian Alley
Cheryl.
Seals. My name's Ian Alley Seals, one of the hosts of A Dangerous Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll
Kirk
see you next
Cameron in
week
2
for Rollerball.
weeks, baby.
Yeah. How do I leave this thing?
Yeah, how do we even get out of here? Good night, everybody. Good night.
Ethan's gone.
Oh, there it goes. Yeah, they all figured it out, but we didn't. All right.
It's ending now.
Good